We're looking live here in beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah, here at DNA HQ. How's it going, AJ?
I'm doing great, buddy. I'm doing so good. How are you today?
I'm living the dream, man. On today's episode of the DNA Sports Recap, we have...
Let's talk about the Utah Mammoths' first two game in the NHL playoffs.
Recapping the University of Utah football spring camp.
And let's talk about Ryan Smith's comments on the Pat McAfee show.
In Major League Baseball, the NL West is heating up. Let's break it down. All that and more. My name is Darren. That is AJ. And this is the DNA Sports Recap.
Roll the intro.
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to another exciting episode of the DNA Sports Recap. My name is Darren. That is my man on the right, I guess. On my left, you're right.
Yeah, that's weird.
That all makes sense.
I am on the right.
Yeah, that's AJ. What's going on, AJ?
Yeah. Oh, man, I'm excited. We got some good stuff today.
Got a lot of good stuff to talk about, for sure. For sure. Once again, folks, if you're watching this in our live stream, please feel free to jump in the chat. We love to interact with you during the show. So if you have a comment on what we're talking about, please chime in. Let us know what your thoughts are. Let us know how wrong we are. All that good stuff. And AJ wants to know your favorite color. Car Wash Channel jumping in first in the chat. What's going on, my friend? Saying hi. What's going on? What's going on, man? Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us on this here. Let's go ahead and get right into it, man. Let's go ahead and talk about some Utah Mammoth, shall we?
I think we need to.
All right. Let's go ahead and talk about your Mammoth in the NHL playoffs. All right, man. Well, hey, AJ, playoffs are here. And believe it or not, the Mammoth are in it.
Yeah.
That is the first thing to cheer about.
After all the talk, too.
All the talk. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And again, when it comes to this, we have a few things we want to jump into. First, now the Mammoth did lose. So we're 2 games in at the time of recording. The Mammoth did lose game 1, 2-4. They held the lead on goals from Logan Cooley and Kevin Stenlund. Now, I hear a lot of talk about, that was just a deflection and everything, right? You hear that a lot, but guess what? That's hockey.
Yeah.
Right? Just like a half-court shot that goes in at the buzzer, sends it into overtime, that's just basketball, right?
Yeah.
Or a pass ball that scores a run in a game, that's just baseball.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Right? So, you also had Veggie, who had 27 saves. The bottom line is that, you went into the third period with the lead, and you gave it up.
You coughed it up, man.
You gave it up. And that's something you cannot do for this team.
And the big thing is game 1 was really physical. You know what I mean? Like it was just one of those games where I think the Mammoth took longer than anticipated to really adjust to the super physical play that the Golden Knights were playing with. I mean, and yeah, you have some things kind of, we had some things bounce our way. They had some things bounce their way, but really Vegas controlled the tempo of that game. And I think the score at 4-2 doesn't necessarily depict how much closer that game was.
Yeah, no, I mean they went offense, empty net, like to try and get them back in the game when they were down 3-2. But here's some of the comments that I didn't. Here's some of the comments from them post game that I didn't really like. One is this is our first playoff game. I heard that a lot, and I don't know how much I enjoyed that. Like I'm just like, okay, guys, act like you've been there before. So
even if you haven't,
well, there's a bunch of players on the team that have, so
right,
and there's a coach that has been there before, so, to get that first one under our belt, get settled in, really feels good. I don't know if you ever feel good coming out of a loss, but thank you, Logan Cooley on that one. Obviously we want to get the win, but you want to get your feet wet a little bit, and how it is, and we need to beat them in game 2. I'm excited at that part, and we're going to get excited to get ready to get back at it. So now those comments again, you at some point, I guess maybe just for me, by the time I heard it from Logan Cooley, I'm just like, okay, we've heard it enough. We've heard it from the head coach. We've heard it from the broadcasters. We've heard it from, the analysts. It did kind of look like just in the third period, maybe they were gassed. Maybe the adrenaline ran out. Veggie was looking pretty good through the first 2 periods of this game. And in the third period, it kind of seemed like they just didn't have enough there. And, Vegas, like you mentioned, it just was able to check them enough to keep the game physical and just tired them and wear them down.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was, I think as you're watching this game, I think I'm more worried if they had the intestinal fortitude to win this one, right? Like as you're watching, it's like, do you have enough here and here to win this game?
Mm-hmm.
Because it didn't look like it. You could tell the environment was tough. The Vegas fans showed out. You could tell just by watching how loud that place was. And it was really interesting. I mean, to watch it because, it got to the point. It was like these could be a rough 2 games in Vegas.
Right.
If they're going to come out and play like this after this much time, we're not going to be able to stay up with these guys. They've got too much playoff experience. They've got a lot of veteran leaders, and we've got a lot of young guys who are admitting after the game that they're young and this is their first playoff game. And this is, it's like they weren't ready for this moment.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a good transition into game 2. One of the notes I made here after analysis of game 1 before going into game 2 is, can Utah capitalize on their speed? Can that top line of Keller, Schmaltz, and Krause, who had 0 points in game 1, by the way?
Yeah.
Can they step it up and leverage that speed that this team's known for? And honestly, man, I think they pretty much did that. I think they did quite well in not getting stuck in Vegas's game style of play. Right?
Yeah.
They were able to come back in. They were all about the checks. They were all about that physical play, but Utah really capitalized on their speed and leveraged key turnovers and some great breakaways and some great network by Veggie, by the way, who, which really helped turn the tide in the third period. The Mammoth, they had one shot. So the Mammoth outshot them 29-21 in this game and really kept Hart, making some really,
he made some great plays.
Great saves.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I just think it was that point where some of that stuff, Veggie was just on lock, man. And Utah kept doing this whole ISO shootout from my favorite one was, I don't know if it was Clayton Keller. Now, who was it that made that goal? Oh my gosh. From the top of the key where it looked like he already had the stick already wound up.
Yeah.
Back, ready to go before the pass even came.
Yeah.
Right there, center ice, and just slapped it in.
That was a great shot.
Like it's like
Paterka?
I don't know if that was Paterka. Let us know in the comments there, guys. Let us know
we should probably know this. I didn't actually make that note though, as crazy as that is, about the players that scored goals in game 2.
Yeah, well, I had it up, but I don't think I had it there. But yeah, man. So what happened in game 2, I think, is really kind of the key thing there is that they leveraged what was great about this team and didn't get stuck playing the Vegas style, physical type of hockey game, which is great because, again, when you're playing on the road, you want to come home with a 1-1 split. You want to get the split, come back home. And I think what we have here from Car Wash Channel is a perfect example of that. Utah ties it series 1-1, and game 3 is Friday night at the Delta Center. So, what's your takeaway from game 2?
They just look like a different team. From the very get-go, it just looked like they were on a mission to play to Vegas's level of physicality, and it looked like they had a game plan to actually beat them in that second game. That first goal in game 2 was for Vegas was on a Vegas power play.
Mm-hmm.
And like in that moment, the defense was playing super cautious. And it was funny because I was just saying to one of my kids, like, I don't know if they're moving fast enough for this for them to actually stop this power play. And it was like 1 second later, they punched it in. And I was like, oh, that wasn't a great game. That wasn't a great play right there. And the scoring kind of goes back and forth, but this team looked much, much better. it helped. I believe they started Liam O'Brien, and he brought some physicality out there, and that really helped them a lot. Yeah, I mean, they looked like they actually belonged there in the second game. You could tell the nerves weren't with them nearly as much. They played physical, and they used their speed. I mean, just like you were saying, this team needed to utilize speed to beat this physical team. That's the only thing that's going to beat them, right? We've got some young kids that skate fast, that can get up the ice, and it puts a lot of pressure on goaltenders, right?
Yeah.
And that was how they did it. I mean, they forced the puck. They kept pushing it up the ice, and I mean, when you apply that many shots, save percentages are what they are for a reason, right?
Yeah,
Like you can't save all of them.
No.
Nobody saves all of them.
What I thought was really interesting is you notice that both first goals were both on deflections for both teams.
Yeah.
They both came off of like a deflection off of a skate
Yep.
or just, off the opposite team.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that's not how you want to start it. And then they both got, I'm like, okay, we each got one.
Yeah. I'm okay.
We're square. We're good.
Yeah. I'm
Puck
okay
don't
with
lie.
that.
Puck don't lie, So I thought that was I thought that was interesting. But man, is this going to be crazy coming into game 3 here in the Delta Center. First NHL playoff game in history at the Delta Center. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah. It's I'm just glad because they look like a team that possibly has 3 more wins in them. Right after that first one, I wasn't sure they were ready to be here. It seemed like the stage was a little bit too big. But after watching game 2, it seems like these guys are up to the task. We've got enough veteran leadership to kind of keep this team focused, and we got to keep playing with speed. But I mean, a little bit of luck, and I mean, you could be taking this team in the right direction for sure.
Absolutely. And I really like that they won game 2, not game 1, because that really brings the momentum coming into Salt Lake.
Exactly.
So I think that's really awesome. And again, with the right game plan, with the what is it, the 12th man? How many players are on ice at any given point? There's 8, right?
No idea.
I think it's 8. Anyway, with the crowd behind them, they should really make a difference, man. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
I agree.
I think they come out and they get a win in game 3, and it's going to be a decisive one, like a 3-1 victory.
That would be sweet.
That's what I'm predicting on that game 3. It's a 3-1 victory for the Mammoth.
I can tell you, playoff hockey is fun to watch, dude.
Oh yeah,
it is physical. It is fast. I had no idea, but game 1 was probably the first playoff hockey game I've ever watched in my whole life.
Yeah, it very much felt like Olympic gold medal type.
It was intense. It was hard hits and fast moving, and I mean, it was really. I enjoyed it enough where I was like, I have to watch game 2. Like, I got to see this.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, very impressed. Yeah. Very impressed.
We want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below when it comes to Utah Mammoth. What's your prediction? What do you think is going to happen in game 3? You got a prediction for us?
I'm going to say I think Utah. I could see Utah winning in a decisive one in game 3. I think they'll be feeling the juice from the home crowd. I don't know. Maybe you guys can help us out. I don't know how big the home ice advantage is in hockey.
Oh, in Utah, I think it's going to matter.
I mean, you would think that. And I could see it in basketball with it getting loud. I can see it in football with it getting loud and not being able to hear. But I feel like in hockey, it would be pretty easy for the home crowd to feed off of the energy too. Or the
road crowd.
The road crowd, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
have to let us know. Let us know.
Yeah.
We want to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Mammoth fans or other franchise fans, if you guys are familiar with, playoff hockey, let us know if that's really a big deal. But love to see it. Would love to have them come with a series lead after 3 games and then see what happens, because after that, all bets are off, AJ.
Yeah.
We don't know if they're getting out of this round, but the odds go up pretty high.
Pretty high, so especially if they leave with 2 more wins in Utah. Absolutely.
Yeah. You come out with 2 wins. I think it's, what was it? 2-2-1-1-1, right? Yep. Is how this series breaks down. So, love to hear it, man. Love to hear it. We're going to see it Friday night, Delta Center. It's going to be awesome.
Yep.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome.
All right, let's go ahead and pivot on over and talk a little bit about the Utah football.
Let's do it.
Went around the horn a little too fast there, huh?
Yep.
That's right. It's his first day. All right, man. So spring ball has come and gone, AJ. And this was the first time with Morgan Scally underneath the big headset, as they say.
They do say that.
They do. While there's plenty of stuff to discuss about this Utes team coming out of this camp, we want to highlight something that we saw from the press, actually. This is an article from Deseret.com. Which position group made the most progress in spring? Here is what Morgan Scally had to say. So that's the title of the article. That's a very lengthy article for sure.
Yes.
You gotta love it. Gotta love it. We got Greg Hawkins, channel legend Greg Hawkins jumping in the chat. What's up, Jess? What's going on, man?
What's up, Greg?
Great to see you. Another one from Car Wash channel. Not much, guys. How you doing? We're doing pretty good. Pretty good.
Thank you for asking. We appreciate it.
Got the dark rye flowing tonight for sure.
Oh yeah.
So
we got to kill this bottle too, Darren. So
geez, for the algorithm that's listening, that's apple juice.
The bottle of apple juice.
The bottle of apple juice in front of us.
And I'm parched.
Yeah, exactly. It's been it's a Wednesday. It's been a long week. It's already Wednesday. But anyway, so we wanted to talk about this, and there's a few things that they mentioned there. Do you want to start off with defense? Or you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we did is we kind of took this article, and again, this was on Deseret.com, basically just talking about the different groups that Morgan Scally wanted to speak out about in this.
Right.
Actually, you go first real fast for me.
Okay.
You go ahead and start.
Yeah, absolutely. So, talking about the defense, I think the defensive line is one of the biggest question marks really around Utah football, right? And, Colton Swan kind of mentioned in another interview how just really how great Coach Ellis has done with the defensive line. And, we all know that over the years, we put a bunch of defensive line talent, into the league. And, so having guys really step up in a room that, as Colton Swan said, that is a line that needed identity and establishment. So to have, a solid direction with that group is really just a super positive thing. And it's nice to see that, him and Colton Swan are really on the same page as far as like, yes, this is a group that we're going to need some major production out of. This defense can't be great without a great defensive line. And then the cornerbacks, as far as defense, it's also noted to have come a really long way in spring camp. Having Scooby Davis back, and then, you move Rock Caldwell from safety, that kind of helps in the position group. And then you got some incoming transfers that are great players, and all those guys are going to be kind of mixed in there at cornerback. So we know that cornerbacks in Utah defense are always heavily relied on. They run a pro style defense. You're gonna rush at the line of attack. You're going to run one-on-ones on the sides. You got linebackers that, those are really the pieces that keep moving on that defense. So it's really interesting as far as, on the defensive portion.
So, yeah. And one of the things about the defensive side of the ball here is that, it's pretty much business as usual on that side of things.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the impact there, yes, we have a new defensive coordinator. The old defensive coordinator is still there. He's just under a bigger headset. That's all that's
much
really
bigger.
Different. But mostly it's going to be the same game plan, the same scheme. And, we're going to see some different plays for sure, and some different reads and everything like that. But from, what we're talking about here on the offensive side, what you're able to see here, this is coming from Scally himself. You're talking about a brand new crew having to work together, having to communicate with a new O-line coach. I'm very pleased at the progress from our O-line that have been made so far. It's still a lot to go from Coach Scally himself. So with that said, we also have some good battles going on the offensive side. So we have left guard. We have between left guards, senior Solata. No, I had this. Solatoa Moeahi. Solatola Moeahi.
Solatoa Maiai?
No, Moeahi.
Moeai?
Yeah.
Solatoa.
Solatoa. Solatola Moeahi. I actually had to look it up in a pronunciation to get it right. And I said it like 4 times. And as soon as I went to say it here, gone. Just completely gone. Anyway, Solatola Moeahi. And you can't say he because you want to put that H on there, but that H isn't there. It's
right.
Moeahi. Anyway, he's a 5-star. So he's the incoming senior. And we also have the 5-star freshman, Kelvin Obot. that they're going to be battling for that left guard spot on the offensive side there. Now, also in regard to Kelvin Scally, in regard to Kelvin, Scally said, I would say that Kelvin is the guy that you're saying, okay, you've been good for us, and that's pressure for him, right? So he's dealt with a lot of pressure his entire life up until this point, so I'm excited. And then you also have on the right between Cedric Jefferson, the Montana State transfer, as well as the redshirt sophomore due to injury, which was Isaiah Garcia, who will be pushing for that starter spot coming in the fall. Scally mentioned on this one that he's always had good coaching. He's finally getting to the point where everything's clicking for him, and he's played well at multiple positions along the offensive line. So we expect for him to be able to contribute this season.
Yeah.
Which is great to hear.
Yeah, Isaiah Garcia is a super talented offensive line guy. He came over. He actually went to the same high school as Isaac Wilson. Those guys both came over from Corner Canyon, and he was like one of the top recruits in the state when he chose Utah, and battled a couple seasons worth of injuries, and he's finally healthy and ready to go this season, which is a very, very good news for Utah.
Yeah, and there's also a comment here from Devin Dampier, not related to this article, but this was something that he mentioned that he's really looking forward to the play additions that McGivens is working on for strategic moments in games, which is interesting.
Yes.
That there's going to be that kind of change, So
yes.
Something you really love to hear. How much of this is real versus how much of this is just coach speak to keep players happy and enrolled?
What I noticed probably the most is how little they talked about actual. Oh, that is crazy news.
Talk about blowing up our segment. Sorry, back to it.
Thanks, Greg.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But
of
course, the Mets.
Forgot what I was even talking about. What I noticed was that the coaches left a lot of names out of this.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, they did not talk about very specific players. It was very few and far between. They talked position groups. They talk about guys working together. They were not talking about who their key players were and how they had changed. I mean, maybe pick a guy here and a guy there, like across the whole team, but they weren't talking about specific guys and specific player groups. They weren't like, and I feel like in the past it's been a little bit more specific. So it's really interesting to see that they were so generic with all of their interviews.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. And that's kind of where I'm like, okay, are they protecting their depth here?
Oh, absolutely. That's 100% what they were doing. Yeah.
None of this, like, okay, let's keep the players happy and keep them enrolled in Utah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of what a lot of what I was expecting to see out of this. It's always like what we talk about when they're back in the old recruiting days, when they come back into fall camp and like, oh, after recruiting, like, we got everybody we wanted.
Yeah.
You're like, no one's going to come into that past class. Someone's like, man, we missed on everybody.
Yeah, we missed on everybody. These guys suck, but we'll take them anyway.
Yeah, no one's ever going to say that. So, I don't know, man. I just thought that this was an interesting article for them to talk about when it comes to the players that they mentioned, as well as, it's good to hear, because there's a lot of changes on the offensive end and some on the defense for sure. But just to have them all come out saying, hey, man, spring was a lot more, productive than they were expecting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see anything from the Forever? I'm sorry, I cut you off there.
Oh, you're good. I was just going to say, and it was interesting because Scally said that, most of the production we're going to see is going to come in the next couple of months where it's player-led practices. So
right.
Obviously the coaches aren't out there. They're leaving it up to the players to get better over the next couple of months. They kind of got time off, step away from the program, recharge the batteries, before we get into fall camp here. So he says this is when the most progress will be made is during player-led practices where players get to, really see how engaged they are in the program.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I have to ask when it comes to the University of Utah and what they did this year, how do you feel about the Forever 22 fan day or fan experience? Did you read anything on it? Did you even bother looking it up to see how it went? Or did you pretty much just dismiss it? Because I just dismissed it. I'm like, whatever, it's not a game. I don't care.
I dismissed a lot of it. I feel like I saw all their social media posts about it, and there's kids jumping on mats and players signing autographs. And I don't know. Check out our video last week. You'll get my true true opinion on what I thought was going to happen, and I still feel pretty much exactly the same way.
Yeah. We want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are.
I'll put it up there.
There
our
you
video
go.
last week.
Nice. You know, whenever you say you're going to do that, it's never up there.
Oh, it is.
Whenever
I mark every one of the videos.
When I watch it on I guess it doesn't show up on a television. It only shows up on
on a mobile device. Absolutely.
Yeah, probably what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are. What's your takes away from spring camp with no spring game. We want to hear from you folks. So let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below for sure.
Do it.
We got a couple of comments here. This is something I wanted to talk. We're going to be talking about this in a moment here. Mets just won a game. And yeah, we're going to be talking about it for
Stay tuned,
sure.
Greg. It's coming.
And no worries there on that one, dude. It's totally okay. I figured that that's when we actually going to start talking about.
You just took me off my game because I was in the middle and I was like, ugh.
Oh, I just knew as soon as we were going to start talking about a team who's on a 12-game losing streak, they were going to win a game. That's just how this works. Yeah. You know, news always breaks right after we hit end stream or the next day.
The Braves have won 7 of 8. Just saying.
Yeah, we're not talking about the Braves today.
Go Braves.
You saw how bad that
Go Braves.
That particular video is performing. So probably will be
the Braves videos never do great.
No, I don't know why that is.
One of the best teams in baseball right now.
Yeah, one of. I'd have to say. I have an argument. We'll talk about that too.
Deal.
When we get into it.
I just watched the whole game against the Nationals. Their game last night was but
the Nationals are looking really good this year. Anyway, this is not baseball talk, so we'll get around to that when we get around to that.
Wrong subject.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into it, and let's talk a little bit about the Utah Jazz.
Let's do it.
It's first day, guys. He's doing.
I am struggling today. I just keep clicking the wrong button too. Like it's like I keep passing it.
It's like horrible. That episode of, the second Toy Story where he's like, "Oh, you pass it. Never, too late now. I'm just gonna keep going around the horn."
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, spot on. But yeah, so we got hell yeah, here we go, Jazz. So absolutely, let's go ahead and talk about it. So first, before we get into the news, we want to actually cover something that happened probably about, again, a day after our last week episode, which was when Ryan Smith appeared on the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to be introducing this one, or are you?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's a great intro. Yeah, so Ryan Smith, he just went on the Pat McAfee show. And it was very interesting because he didn't sound like an owner of a rebuilding team, right? No. So number one, he sounded like someone who thinks that the championship window for the Jazz is a lot closer than people realize, which was really cool as a Jazz fan to hear. And number two, he sounded like an owner that has some serious concerns, and they just so happen to be the same concerns as casual NBA fans, diehard NBA fans, and some of that is based around how teams are able to build or rebuild a franchise. And that's directly related to tanking, trading, the draft. So my question is, what do you think about what Ryan Smith had to say about all of his frustrations with rebuilding?
So I think you hit it spot on, but there's one part that you missed there that I think you need to go one more layer deep, is he has the same frustrations as Jazz fans.
Yeah.
Not just NBA casuals or NBA fans directly or fans, like specifically the same arguments that we have had.
Absolutely.
And I cannot tell you how refreshing that was to hear our own owner come out and literally say the same things that we've been talking about for the last, 2 years now?
It's crazy because he's a Jazz fan.
Yeah. So he did talk about how he's owning his own, how he's owning his own favorite team. He was talking about the Mammoth at the beginning. And one of the things that Pat McAfee asked, he said, hey, you're obviously, when he asked about the statement there, he's like, hey, I only can talk about what we're reading here. I didn't get the memo, but basically what they're saying is that the Utah Jazz are trying to lose games. And basically he just came out and just said it tongue in cheek, you need to answer for this,
Yeah.
And clearly because of the Mammoth, you are not one of these owners that are trying to lose games.
Right.
So there's a lot. And what I really like to say is what he said is that there's a lot working in the NBA that's working well. And that's what I like to hear him say. And he also said that, which is refreshing to hear from an NBA owner, is that there's a lot of collaboration between the league and the ownership to fix things. With that said, the key sentence that he said is, what is the rebuild experience in the NBA like for a team? He's like, you will have 8 to 10 teams that have to pull it into the pit. That's just math every single season, especially when they're adding 2 more. if you're rebuilding a team, you can't sign free agents because there are literally no he mentioned this. There are no all NBA
free agents. Yeah.
In this draft, and there very rarely is. What they do is they sign a max extension and then they demand a trade after that.
Yep.
So he's never got a chance to do that. And then also trades are really hard, especially in Utah now in this player empowerment era. Teams are blocking trades or players are blocking
Thanks, LeBron.
trades. Yeah. Which is really funny. Did you see all those articles about Kevin Love saying how he fell in love with Utah while he was here?
Yeah.
I'm just like,
I sure did.
And for those of you who are, I've been around this show, you know how we had the inside track there from an insider and they were in the room, how when Kevin Love blocked a trade to the Utah Jazz during the prime Gordon Hayward years.
Yeah. So
we had a chance to have a prime Kevin Love on this team, which would have been the key piece that we were missing.
Absolutely.
At that time. But hey, but yeah, now he loves it. So that's great. But yeah, so I love to hear about that. And I also like to hear, he's like, this is just math. He's like, these teams are going to be rebuilding and you need to figure out a way. And so you can't you can't trade for players. You can't sign key free agents because there are none. That puts a lot of pressure on the draft. So all these teams that aren't winning have to rely on the draft. That's kind of what he said. That's kind of really important to me. But most important, what he said is, I'm glad to be out there, to be in the position, be out of that position going forward. We have been in that position for the last 4 years, and how are we going to help the teams in the pit get back out on the track faster? First of all, I love all the racing metaphors he's using on this one.
Maybe he's buying a race team next.
That's probably what he's doing. He's probably going out to the Miller Motorsports Park, whatever it's called.
Maybe he'll open it back up.
Maybe that's what I'll do.
Oh, is that controversial since it's the Miller Motorsports Park?
It hasn't been called that.
I know.
But it's like we still call it.
Just saying, he's got a thing for buying Miller products.
He does. But yeah, so that's kind of my original thought, is that he has the understanding of the same thing. He didn't say anything about the league finding him $250,000. He didn't say anything about that. He's just like, we need to figure out the experience, and he's confident that they will do that. So for that first comment was important enough for me to hear. The other part of it did you catch all the slight digs that he mentioned about how he was inheriting a team that has never won a draft pick.
Yep.
Has only
never moved up,
never won the lottery, never moved up, and only moved down or held fast. And his exact words was, that math is not mathing.
Yeah.
So to that statement there, that's an owner that has the same frustrations as the fans do when it comes to the situation.
I loved it, dude. That
was very much kind of a dog whistle to all Utah Jazz fans out there, to know that even the owner of our team thinks there's something fishy, and that the math, everything's not adding up here. The Utah Jazz are getting the raw deal on a bunch of things here, and not only does the fans feel it, but our owner feels it too. I don't know. What do you think?
No, I think he's absolutely right, and he nailed it. I mean, we've been talking about it for years on this channel. It's absolutely crazy that the Jazz have never moved up not even improved their position one time.
Yeah.
Not once.
How long has the lottery been in place? Like 10, 15 years?
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
Yeah, and every time the Jazz been in the lottery, it's never, that's just, the math doesn't make sense there.
Yep. And it's good to know that Ryan Smith knows it. It's good to know that, he goes on national media and talks about it.
Yeah.
Because as Jazz fans, we're very much aware of it, and we just want a shot, man.
Mm-hmm.
Give us one shot to get a player that's franchise changing. And I think we did a really good job last year. We got really lucky with Ace Bailey, because I do think he was a top 3 pick.
Oh, easily.
And he fell to 5 because of some backdoor stuff that his agent was doing and whatever. And we got really lucky, and I think he likes it here. And I think that the franchise will take care of him as a player. I think it was the best possible move for the Jazz with the number 5 pick.
Yeah.
So we got lucky.
We got lucky there. And that's kind of the key thing there, is I also think that it's nice to know that we have an owner now. He's like, trades are hard. He's like, we tried some trades. He's like, we've got some folks and we're happy with the people we got. But that's even him saying that. You can read between the lines there and saying, yeah, we've tried to make trades and to bring talent into Utah, and we struck out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we struck out on players we wanted because either A, the player didn't want to come there, or B, the team didn't want to play ball.
Yep.
So I'm glad to see that he understands that, and he's felt that pain, and now he understands it, and now he's basically like, he's saying this is the only way we had to work, guys.
Yeah, this was it. This was our option.
This was our option, and that's what we're going to do. And I think that the key thing you need to take away from this, and again, something we talked about last week, how we're not looking back, we're looking forward. The fact that the owner said what he said, saying, I'm glad we're not in that position anymore, and I look forward to helping other teams get out of the pit as soon as possible. So yeah. I love that, dude. That tells me that no matter what, we're not going to be seeing what we saw last year. We're going to be seeing these players go at it and really kind of give their best.
He also made a very other interesting comment.
What's that?
He mentioned very specifically that Walker Kessler is viewed as a central piece of this team's rebuild.
Which is awesome.
I mean, I love it. And I think it just says volumes about how this team plans to prioritize re-signing Walker Kessler this offseason, which just reconfirms that obvious, and we all knew this, but the Jazz are in win now mode, right? There's no more trading and waiting and hoping for a solid draft pick. Like we've got this year's draft pick. You got pieces, good pieces in Jaren Jackson Jr. and Keontae George, and Walker Kessler is one of those pieces.
Yes.
He's a guy that we got to have.
Yeah. Not only is it that, it's they made moves assuming he was going to be with this team.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's because he's one of those, I mean, air quotes or not, he's an irreplaceable player. There's only a select few players in the league that can defend like Walker Kessler can.
Mm-hmm.
At 7'1", I mean, especially if he gets his 3-point shot into the mid-30s, this dude's an absolute weapon, dude.
We won't need it next year.
We won't, but I'm saying if you can spread 5 guys out on offense and Walker Kessler's even a remote threat from the 3-point line.
Yeah, true.
That is a scary lineup, dude.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I hope that the Jazz can make it work. They got to get this Walker Kessler deal done. I mean, and
they will. And even if
put it together long term and structure it however you need to, but you got to get Walker Kessler back in Salt Lake City next year.
Yeah. Well, the best part is he is a restricted free agent. So if anybody
they can match it. Absolutely.
If anybody makes a toxic offer, the Jazz will match it. I honestly don't think if someone offers him a max contract, first of all, no one's going to do that because he had 5 games into the season, then boom, he's done last year.
Yeah.
So he's not going to get a max contract. We know ahead of time that the Jazz offered him a $25 million per year contract extension, and he said, no, I don't want that. That's not good enough.
And that was before the season started.
And that was before the season started. Now, odds are, is another team going to offer him that? Maybe. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
But what I actually want the Jazz to do is just come to the table with $28 million a year and call it a day.
Yeah.
Then extend him out till, on his rookie scale contract until he becomes an unrestricted free agent. But I think that number needs to come up a little bit because they're, again, the most dangerous word in basketball is potential. That's a 4-letter word in basketball.
Yes, it is.
But when it comes to that, I think that what they need to do there is they need to make that offer, sweeten the deal, because nobody else is going to offer him a max contract. And honestly, because he missed all of last year and the year prior to that, did not showcase well. And he also didn't showcase well for USA Basketball because he simply just didn't get used by Steve Kerr. They just didn't use him.
Right.
His stock isn't as high everywhere else as it would be in Utah. So I think if you come up from that $25 million, a little bit and
make him feel good about it.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't think he gets, I would love to have him sign with Utah without even really testing restricted free agency. But on the same token there, man, let him test it. As long as the Jazz match it, I don't really care.
Exactly.
Let him be upset with his max contract here in Utah, as long as he balls out,
Just come out and play, Walker. That's all we want from you, buddy.
Exactly.
Yep, absolutely. So we had some other interesting Jazz news. And it was kind of funny because the Jazz and the Kings, they finished the season with identical records, right? And they split the 4 games they played this season. And the last time the Jazz beat the Kings on February 11th, it was bad. I mean, we all knew that the Jazz weren't trying to win that game, but they secured that victory over the Kings in the middle of the season. And then now, once again, the Jazz secure another victory over the Kings, but this one's actually a good one. The Jazz win the tiebreaker. It was decided by a random drawing that officially gave them the 4th best odds.
It's a coin flip, right?
It's not an actual coin flip. It's actually just a random drawing is what
enough.
it's referred to in the league. Just a random generation of drawing. But winning the 4th best odds guarantees the Jazz no lower than the 8th pick, which has finally ended the first round pick to OKC drama.
let's do the celebration emoji right here. Throw it in there. If we had a button, we'd press that button. But
yes,
we don't have it.
We don't have any buttons, but yes, the drama is over. Absolutely.
Yes.
So
no more conveying, and officially brings an end to the whole tanking, so we can keep our pick. It's done.
Yep.
That's
so
done.
the Jazz. I mean, now we just got to wait till May 10th, right? NBA draft lottery comes up. We can just pray to the basketball gods that the Jazz get the number 1 pick.
Yeah, let's hope that that's not the end of our luck here this offseason.
Yes, exactly.
In winning that random drawing. The Jazz need a top 3 pick out of this draft, man.
They do.
I just think
They do.
to really kind of drive it home and finish this out, we need that top 3 pick, because that is easily any one of the players in the top 3 would be a number 1 pick in almost any other draft.
Yep.
With the exception of the one with Victor Wembanyama in it. These guys would be the number 1 pick in almost every other draft. So now, according to the Hoops Nerd show, which he didn't say he's very good at math, but how can you call yourself a Hoops Nerd if you're not good at math? But anyway, I digress. When it comes to that, he said, because with that, we now have a 45% chance of getting a top 5 pick. And we have a 44% chance of getting 6 or 7.
Right.
So with an 11.4 chance of getting the number 1 overall pick. And a 38% chance or 36% chance of getting a top 3 pick. So
we just know the Jazz previous record of moving up in the draft
is non-existent. So depending on what that means, everybody says that, we never got up. But honestly, last year,
I just want to know what it cost to buy the number 1 pick.
Oh, I don't think it's a matter of cost.
Really? How much Dallas had to pay for the number 1 pick last year?
No. The NBA wanted that to happen.
Oh, I know.
The NBA wanted Luka in LA. So they allowed that they allowed that trade to happen when it came through. He's like, okay, what we're going to do here is we're going to give Dallas the number 1 overall pick just to settle that and kind of just deal with that.
Yeah. You made that happen for us. We'll make this happen for you.
Yeah, that's kind of how that happened. We got where we wanted. Let's help you rebuild. But no, I honestly, man, when it comes to this, I hope this is not where the luck ends for Utah. But last year, the chances we had with the best odds we had was the number 5 pick. We had like a 47% chance of getting the number 5 overall pick. And that's what we got. So,
but we were the worst team in the league.
Yeah, we had the top odds to get the number 1 pick and we didn't get it.
Yeah.
But it was only 11 point. That's the problem, is it was only 11% odds. So like something's got to change in it. Whatever. Moving on. We need that top 3 pick. Let's hope for it. Pray to whoever you pray to. Throw some salt on your shoulder, do whatever you got to do. But we are like less than 3 weeks away now?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
It's coming.
We want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below from that. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about, where's our mouse? Here it is. That's why we need buttons. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Major League Baseball, shall we?
Let's do it. Yes, sir.
All right. So, let's go ahead and jump into it, man. Let's talk a little bit about some baseball, shall we?
Yeah. Let's jump into it. So,
big news.
First topic on the docket. The San Diego Padres are finalizing a sale to investor Jose E. Feliciano and his wife, Kwanzaa Jones, for an MLB record $3.9 billion. So, when the previous beloved owner, Peter Seidler, died in 2023,
rest in peace,
the family was pushing pretty hard to sell the team. This was really driven by the need to manage the nearly $1 billion in guaranteed player contract. Obviously they needed to settle estate issues from the previous owner. So this ownership team is going to face some pressure, right? I mean, they got to maintain this high spending. The team's been really competitive on the field. So there's lots of questions kind of surrounding this, but what is most interesting about the Padres sell to you, Darren?
Oh my gosh, man. Okay. Let's take a step back from this sale.
Yeah.
Right? Let's talk about these two. Let's talk about the ownership group of, Jose E. Feliciano, right?
Feliciano.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. My apologies. I've heard it both ways.
Yeah, I have too.
Jose is the co-founder of a equity firm called Clear Lake Capital.
That is correct.
They own 61% of the Chelsea Football Club. there is a minority owner of that Chelsea Football Club. His name is Todd Bowley, right? Todd Bowley. Is that
dumb name?
Yeah. Again, one of those ones we probably heard both ways. So if we said it wrong, we've heard it both ways, so don't worry about it. He is a minor owner of the Chelsea Football Club. Todd is also a 20% owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers, which is another NL West team. Mark Walter is a majority owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers and also part owner with Todd in Chelsea Football Club. And this is according to SI.com. The atmosphere between the two ownership groups is a Civil War type vibe. And it is suggested that there is bad blood between these two. So you have two ownership groups of the same premier football team not agreeing on how the team should be owned, and one team is throwing its higher ownership percentage around, and the other team is just not accepting and not liking it. These two ownership groups do not like each other. So why am I bringing that up? Well, okay, so if Jose and his wife Kwanzaa don't like their minority owner, what do they do in spite of that? They go out and buy the only other for sale team that is directly in the same conference as the Major League Baseball team that they are the majority owner of that team. So with both of them owning a Major League Baseball franchise in the same division, the NL West is going to get very, very interesting, AJ.
It sure is. It sure is.
So anybody who knows ball knows that the Padres are not the Dodgers' rival.
Right.
They're not. Who is the Dodgers' rival, AJ? Actually, if you got this, I'd actually be kind of impressed.
Giants.
Nice. You got it. Nailed it. First try.
So, I've been hanging out with you a lot. So
the Dodgers' rivals has been the Giants. It's always been that way back when they both were playing in New York. Do you know why the Mets colors are orange and blue?
I don't.
It's because it's to pay homage to the two teams that left New York, the Giants and the Dodgers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they were both New York teams back in the day. But anyway, so anybody knows that it's the Giants that are the Dodgers' rivals, right? Well, I'm telling you, man, with two ownership groups that do not like each other, that both have infinite pockets, that are going to be going after each other in the same division, that could quickly change, my friend.
That could make things real interesting.
Yes, it definitely can.
Yeah.
Right now, as of the time of recording, the Dodgers and the Padres are tied for the top position in the NL West.
That is kind of crazy.
Yes. When it seemed like the Dodgers were running away with the division already,
they
were the first team 10 wins, first team to 15 wins. Looked like they could do no wrong. And then they lost 2 games in Colorado. But the Padres weren't losing.
Boo.
Yeah, the Padres weren't losing, man. And the Padres weren't losing. And believe it or not, the Rockies actually took 2 games from the Blue Jays too, which is really interesting.
It's weird. I'm pretty sure I recall somebody saying in their preseason prediction that the Rockies could make the playoffs.
I don't know who that was.
Wasn't it you?
No.
I thought you said the Rockies could.
No, I said they make it above. I think they can make it to 500.
Oh,
but
okay.
They're not going to make it to the playoffs. Absolutely not. The team that's going to make the playoffs is going to be. I said the team that's going to make the playoffs is the A's.
Oh, the A's. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
San Francisco A's of Oakland.
Don't even try to figure it out, dude. It's just going to hurt your soul.
But yeah, so that could quickly change, man. And as it sits right now, the new ownership group's not messing around. They actually signed Lucas Giolito.
I saw that today, right?
Yeah, they signed him today. The free agent pitcher. Apparently, free agency is continuing in Major League Baseball.
Just keeps going.
They signed Lucas Giolito's no slouch, man. He's a good pitcher.
Yeah.
He's the one you always reference when you say somebody who successfully survived 2 Tommy Johns. He's the dude. He's that dude. So they're gonna ramp him up, get him out there. But yeah, apparently the new ownership not messing around. They're spending some money already. So you love to see it. I don't know. Should the Dodgers be scared? Who knows?
So we want to hear what you guys think.
Yeah,
let us know. Should the Dodgers be worried about the Padres?
Yeah, we want to hear from you. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below.
So there's another interesting topic going on in baseball. And Greg, thanks for helping us out earlier in the show on this this particular topic. So there was few teams that have been talked about more over the last couple off seasons than the New York Mets. Right? These guys went out there and got Juan Soto 2 years ago. Paid him like $400 trillion. Okay, maybe it was 15 years, $765 million. You choose. I've heard it both ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. But then last year, it seemed like they were ready to step into contention. They go out and get Luis Robert Jr. from the White Sox to cover center field. They paid him $20 million contract for a year. They got a team option for the next year. They signed Bo Bichette to a 3-year deal worth $126 million, which comes out to $42 million a year. Mm-hmm. Keep in mind, the 27 and 28 seasons for him are player options because there's so many players in the league that turn down $42 million a year.
Right.
They had Freddie Peralta for $8 million a year, Jorge Polanco to a 2-year, $40 million deal. They trade for Marcus Semien, who was on a 7-year, $175 million deal. He's got 3 years left on that deal, by the way. So these guys spend so much money this offseason. Estimated payroll for 2026 is $370 million.
Wow.
And how are they doing, Darren?
Oh, they're in last place, my friend.
What do you mean they just spent $370 million?
They're in dead last place in the division. And that's in the same division with the Florida Marlins, by the way.
Who's bad?
Yes.
The Marlins are bad, and they have not spent that much money.
No. Ironically, which team has made more money, the Dodgers or the Marlins last year?
I don't know.
It's the Marlins.
The Marlins made more money last year?
Yeah, believe it or not. That's how baseball works, folks. Teams that actually spend money don't make any. And the teams that don't spend cry about being poor and make all the money. But yeah, so according at the time of recording, now apparently that just changed, but they did go on a 12-game losing streak, which is, terrible for a team like this.
Really terrible.
Yes, they just won, so good for them. But yeah, actually, we have an update here. Let's go ahead and get this one on the screen here. Greg Hawkins. The Mets are now tied. I like
Hopkins better.
Hopkins too. Yeah. It's a name you want to have,
Yeah.
But anyway, so the Mets are now tied for last with the Phillies, who are currently on an 8-game losing streak themselves and have the 5th highest payroll in baseball. Oh, we're getting to that.
Also, just for the record, that Phillies 8-game losing streak was very much thanks to the Braves sweep that they handed them.
Yeah, it's just a little broom right there, a little dustpan. Get that out there.
Go Braves.
So yeah, according to SportTrack.com, the Mets actually have the highest payroll in actual money that's owed in $333 million. The Dodgers are at $297 million. So I think what both of those are both not including penalties and overages and stuff like that.
That is correct.
So technically on money wise, that just the players, the Mets actually have the highest payroll in baseball. So what happened to buying championships, AJ?
Well, I mean, you can't just buy championships, dude. You can't just go out there and spend all the money in the world and then just win back-to-back championships.
No, you definitely cannot. You definitely cannot. And we actually talked about this last week.
We did.
So I know it's early, and the Mets, they do have the second highest payroll in baseball. They had it last year, actually. They had the second highest payroll in last year, which is funny, AJ, because who missed the playoffs last year?
I believe that would be that's right, the New York Mets.
That's right. So again, top 3 payroll in baseball doesn't promise you anything. It doesn't mean anything.
They did pay Juan Soto like $400 trillion. Don't forget that.
Yes, exactly. $400 trillion. So why are they bad, AJ? Well, first of all, they're old, right? You take Soto out of the game, which he took himself out of the game, which if anybody thought he was going to make a 15-year contract without getting hurt several times was not paying attention. You can't be that durable for that long in your career and not get hurt. So anybody's like, oh my gosh, signs that contract, immediately gets hurt. Yeah, it was coming, dude. It was happening.
But also you signed him to a 15-year deal so that you could reallocate some of that money over a 15-year contract.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, you take Soto out, and you got a bunch of old dudes on this team. People really on the wrong side of 30. Yeah. I mean, Bo's 28, but he's coming off of a leg thing from last year, and he's also playing out of position. He's playing third base when he's a natural shortstop. Lindor is 32. He's your shortstop, 32. You mentioned Marcus Semien. He's 35 and your second baseman. Luis Robert Jr., he's 29, but again, that guy's made of glass, and he hasn't been the same since Jose Ramirez, knocked him clean out.
That's a good point. His whole career changed at that point right there.
Yeah. He's never been injured. He's never been healthy.
Did sign a big contract, though.
Did sign a fat contract.
Yep, so $20 million a year. Third highest paid player on the Mets payroll.
Which is insulting for that.
Yeah.
So we did talk about this last week. Who's the glue guy of the Dodgers?
Easy, Max Muncy.
Exactly. In fact, they traded him last year for the Mets. The Mets traded their Max Muncy, and that's Brandon Nimmo. You know who they traded him for? Marcus Semien.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Which doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
They're like, we got a glue guy. Get rid of him. Let's get somebody else in here.
Yeah. And then they also got rid of their Freddie Freeman, who was Pete Alonso, his first baseman. Now he took a walk over to Baltimore. He signed a contract there, a 6-year deal over there in Baltimore.
Yeah.
So you got rid of your franchise player in Pete Alonso, and you got rid of your glue guy, Brandon Nimmo, who's also homegrown. And then you bring in Freddie Peralta, who's 1-2 so far this year with a over 4 ERA, and you trade away a bunch of your depth to get him. Now, luckily, they still have a top 5 farm system in that, but that's kind of my point, man. You can't just buy a team and win the press conference. You can't just sign talent. You need the Max Muncies. You need the Pajeses.
They won the press conference, though.
Oh, they totally won it.
Yeah,
they totally won it.
They won the offseason for sure. Because on paper, looking at it, you're like, this team could be really good. They just signed a bunch of talent. They just paid a bunch of money for all these guys.
You think that the ownership and the front office of the Mets would have figured this out when they signed Max Scherzer and what's his name, Verlander?
Yeah.
And then immediately regretted it and traded them both to 2 different Texas teams within the same year.
Split them up. That'll help.
Yeah, that'll help us. And they're still paying a lot of their contracts, right?
Yeah.
Like, so you think they would have learned their lesson, but no. You got to understand you have to not only buy talent, yes, when it comes available, but 2, you got to maintain your own talent, which you had in Pete Alonso and Brandon Nimmo. But you also have to develop like your Pajeses and stuff like that and get these guys that are not necessarily the top of the order, but the ones that come through and the ones that come through your system. That's what's important in baseball. You can spend all the money you want. The Yankees have been top 5 in payroll for, the last 5-6 years. And in one of those years, they also didn't make it the playoffs either. So this whole notion that spending money will buy you a championship, ask Mets fans how that's going for them.
I don't think you want to because they probably won't love that comment very much.
Yeah. Well,
let us know if you're a Mets fan. Go ahead and tune into the comments.
Yeah, let us know. Yeah, so congrats on getting that win tonight, guys. Apparently, they traded for Luke Weaver. They're obsessed with stealing Yankees players, by the way.
They're just like, come across the subway.
Yeah. It's just really weird. Really, really
They're
weird.
like, it's so much more convenient because we don't have to pay them to relocate.
I guess so. But yeah, so it's going to be kind of interesting, man. A couple of comments we want to hit there from Greg Hawkins on this one. Cubs have won 8 straight. Let's go.
Let's go, Cubs.
We got the Cubs and Dodgers this Friday at 8:10 p.m. on Apple TV. Thanks.
Sweet.
Can you see that? Top 3 teams and run differential. Greg, you just know how to hit. You know how to hit the comments hard on this one, and this is perfect. The top 3 teams and run differentials are the Braves, Dodgers, and Cubs.
Go Braves.
You love to see it.
You really do. I mean, especially for 3 people on the same in the same communication. Yeah. Go Braves.
Exactly. You gotta love it.
Yeah.
So speaking of run differential and you mentioned the Dodgers twice there. So we gotta talk about the
Dodgers. Gotta break in, absolutely.
We gotta talk about the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani did it again, my friend. He set only a record that only he can. By the way, we need to leak video to it somewhere of the greatest of all time conversation.
Probably be up there.
Right up there?
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, so did you hear about the record that Shohei Ohtani broke?
I mean, I heard about him reaching base in 53 straight regular season games.
Yes, but before that happened, he actually reached base on 43 games, which broke the most for a Japanese-born player from Ichiro.
Oh, nice.
And he also, most important part about that, AJ is also in the middle of a 32 scoreless inning streak as well.
That is very impressive, dude.
So the 2-way conversation, I mentioned this in that previous video.
Yes.
That needs to go to bed because now Shohei Ohtani has set the record for having 32 scoreless inning streaks at the same time of being on base 43 games in a row.
Yeah.
That's the only player to ever do it in history. Babe Ruth did it, but he did it on 2 separate times in 2 different seasons. So the 2-way title has to belong to Shohei Ohtani. I think we need to put that one to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Congratulations to Shohei Ohtani. I think that's awesome. We want to hear from you folks there. Are you an Ohtani lover, hater? We want to hear it.
Absolutely.
We
right. Sure do. On the Ohtani situation, did you see the Blue Jays comment?
No.
So the Blue Jays, the head coach of the Blue Jays, said that they planned on putting Shohei Ohtani on base during Game 3 of the World Series.
No kidding.
Purely in an attempt to tire him out before he was planned to pitch for Game 4.
Oh,
they said
smart.
They did it on purpose. And that was a long game.
That was a long game. Smart.
So they said that they did it on purpose. That's why they gave him so many intentional walks, because he's a base running fool. They're like, if we can get him on base and make him run some more, maybe that will tire him out.
Smart.
Before he pitches for game 4. You didn't see that?
No, that is brilliant though.
Crazy, yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. I love it. Did you hear what the Cubs manager had to say about Shohei Ohtani?
No.
Yeah, basically calling out the Dodgers, saying it's cheating that the Dodgers get to have one extra player because of Shohei Ohtani.
Do they get to have one extra player?
No, they don't. Everybody has a 26-man roster, and the difference is the Dodgers get to have one more pitcher because he's a player. Because every other team will have 13 pitchers, 13 position players, right? Because you have Ohtani, you technically get to have 13 players, but he's also a pitcher, but he doesn't count as one, so you technically get 14 pitchers. So the Dodgers get 14 pitchers and 13 position players. So you only have a 26-man roster, but you basically have 27 players on your team because he is a starting pitcher too. So
I mean, go out and find yourself a two-way player.
That's exactly what Dave Roberts said. Dave Roberts said he is a unique talent, and he has a unique rule. Nothing's stopping anybody from doing that.
And I'm not saying I'm like, but I just feel like that is a very like void point.
Yeah.
Because if anybody else had a pitcher that could hit like Shohei Ohtani, they're going to be using them.
Yes. Yeah. And I like this comment. This basically is like Shohei Ohtani counts as two. And it's, it's the Cubs manager that was saying this. And I think it's funny that everybody's coming out and saying this, but no one seemed to care when he was on the Angels. This wasn't a problem. The two-way Ohtani rule was a rule that was established in 2022 when he was still with the Angels. No one cared then. They only seem to care now when he's on the Dodgers.
Now they're cheating. The Dodgers are cheating now.
Yeah.
Only now.
Yeah. I mean, I will go back and say a little bit there. I think I kind of understand a little bit. Oh, Ohtani's getting extra time, and when it starts to get ramped up, in between innings, there's a little bit of that there, which I think is fair. But it's really funny. It's coming from George Springer in the World Series, where he's like, "Why is he getting to pitch so long? This is ridiculous. Why is he getting so much time?" And when the Blue Jays played the Dodgers, he did it again. He's like, "Oh, why is he getting so much time?" It's really funny to hear from George Springer, a former Houston Astro player, accusing another player of cheating.
Right.
That's just really funny to me.
Yeah.
I get a good kick out of that.
You sure that's where you want to go with this?
Yeah.
You sure about that?
Yeah. Just like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? No one cares because the Angels were bad. Yeah, it only matters when the team's good, right? Meanwhile, the Dodgers are on a generational run. Yeah, and you got to knock down the people on the top while they're up there. But yeah, anyway, so talking about people on the top, AJ.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and break into it, man. So the power rankings came out on Monday, and there's been a lot of change. Why don't you go ahead and break down the top three for us?
Well, I don't have this one in front of me, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, here you go.
I missed. Perfect. Oh, well, now I can see my screen. Okay, we're good. That's kind of where I figured we were at.
Okay.
Number 1, Dodgers.
Same as last week.
Number 2, Atlanta Braves.
There you go.
Please hold the applause. Hold the applause.
Up from 3.
I can't hear it anyway.
Yeah, up from 3, which was a big jump for them. When you're in the top 5, any change is kind of big.
I'm just saying.
Congrats, my
friend. They look like one of the best teams in baseball right now.
They definitely do. And that's kind of my argument. I would say with the Dodgers dropping 2 to the Colorado Rockies. Did your team lose 2 to the Colorado Rockies?
The Braves have not lost a series this season.
Technically, that isn't a loss. It's a push. But the Dodgers have lost a series. And that's kind of my point, though.
Yeah.
Is that the Braves have not lost a series so far this season. The Dodgers have. So, yeah, you got an argument there, man.
It's because they're the Dodgers, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that offensively. You know what I mean? But
no.
You're the defending 2-time world champions. You're still winning a ton of baseball games, and the Braves look good. But
look great.
But they've had a few games where it's like, uh-oh.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, Reynaldo Lopez came out last night and really, really struggled in like 4 innings. And, that was our first loss in 6 games.
Yeah.
The last loss was Chris Sale came out and just absolutely fell apart through 4 innings.
Mm-hmm.
And his only loss this season. And he's 3-1, I believe now, in his 4 starts. So they're, But the Braves look good, man. Defense, their offense has been fantastic. Matt Olson's all of a sudden turned his bat on after in the last 4 or 5 games. I think he's got 4 home runs in the last 5 games.
Yeah,
so
well, that's good because that trade where they traded for him and didn't sign Freddie Freeman, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, comparatively, the production that between Freddie Freeman and Matt Olson hasn't even been close.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
So you're kind of like, so it's nice to kind of see him come around there, the hometown kid. The Padres are number 3. This was before the sale was finalized and everything. Really cool to see them at the number 3 spot because, again, having this team in the same division as the Dodgers is going to be nice because it's going to be nice to have the Dodgers actually have something to play for throughout the rest of the season, which is something I'll get into in Greg's comment here in a minute. But it's kind of nice to actually have a reason to want to play the regular season for the Dodgers.
Yeah. Yeah, like they need to win.
Yeah.
They got to keep winning. They can't take a bunch of early losses.
Yeah. Number 4 is the Yankees, down from number 2 down to number 4. But the one that I actually want to talk about here, and sorry, Yankees fans, we're skipping right over you, but you're still in the top 5, so just be happy about that.
Yeah, be happy.
Number 5 is the Pittsburgh Pirates. AJ, the Pittsburgh Pirates are number 5 on the power rankings this week.
Are the Pirates playing that good a baseball
They
right now?
are playing that good a baseball right now.
That is impressive.
So congrats.
I have not seen a Pirates game. I'm going to be honest. I've seen probably the Braves are at 24. I've probably seen 20 Braves games so far this season.
Yeah. So the Pittsburgh Pirates do have a Brave player on there. So I was wondering what, I want to catch one of those. Marcell Ozuna is on the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah, but he's not a Brave anymore.
No, so he doesn't. He's dirt to you, right?
He's dirt. Yeah.
So speaking of which, the Pirates, congratulations to the Pirates. I think that's awesome. You got Paul Skeens on your team.
How is Ozuna playing? Has he been playing okay?
I don't know. I haven't looked it up. I don't watch a lot of Pittsburgh Pirates games.
You don't either.
It's the Pirates, dude. Who cares? But anyway, so something did happen. There's a very much a viral moment that happened with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Did you see this? So
No.
Jake Mangum created a viral moment, and this was on the 19th of April. He tossed a baseball to a fan wearing his jersey. Right? He threw it up to her brother said he'd catch it for her. He caught it for her, and the brother gave the ball to her, and he immediately gave it to her. She hugged her brother and just immediately started crying, was super excited that she got the ball from her favorite player. It was a nice little heartwarming thing between siblings, and it happened on national TV, created this viral moment, right?
Yeah.
Now, we always like to trash on the Pirates and the owner, Bob Nutting,
Yes, we have.
For
Absolutely.
the way he's running his team. And, none of this changes that, by the way. But when he saw that, Bob Nutting, the owner of the Pirates, great last name, by the way, is inviting his family to join him in his suite in an upcoming home game to get to watch.
That's really cool.
And before the game, that little girl gets to meet Jake Mangum before the game.
Dude, you can't beat that.
So
that is pretty cool as an owner.
Very cool as an owner.
Yeah.
While we don't like how you're running your team, you got to tip your cap to the owner who actually understands what's important about baseball, and that's the kids. You had that viral moment between a brother and his sibling, his sister, and to have an owner to see like, okay, that's baseball right there.
Yeah.
And to level it up. Good on you, man. Tip of the DNA Sports Recap to Bob Nutting, which is something I never thought I'd say.
Yeah.
But congrats, dude. That's awesome.
Also, for the record, Marcell Ozuna is playing not great this year. So he's got 73 at bats, scored 6 runs, batting average is at 178. He's got 20 strikeouts. He has hit 2 home runs. Not the best season for the Big Bear.
Definitely not. Definitely not. So
considering he was hitting almost 300 all last season with the Braves.
Well, you can't. Not everybody can play well when they leave Atlanta.
Hey, go Braves!
Except for Max Fried. Is that too soon? Too soon.
Freddie Freeman.
That's not. That's
Whatever. Okay, it doesn't matter. Go Braves anyway.
So before we jump off on that, there's one thing I want to talk about when it comes to Major League Baseball, and that is jerseys. We talked last week about our favorite jerseys that were coming up for sale.
Yep.
And let's see here. Let's go with this. Is this what I was looking for? Here it is. I hate this when you try and pull up a thing here. It doesn't really work the way you want it to work. Let's see here.
Type faster.
Okay. So, do you want to see? You want to hear the list? Oh my gosh!
I do want to hear the list.
So, top selling list of Major League Baseball. Take a guess who's the top 3.
Shohei Ohtani.
Shohei Ohtani's
Mike
number 1.
Trout.
Nope. If I can get this to actually pull up what I want it to pull up.
Who would be next? Aaron Judge.
Nope. I can't believe I can't pull this up. Okay. MLB.
Ohtani's number 1, though, for sure.
Ohtani's number 1. Absolutely.
Okay. Number 2. Who's the next most popular baseball player? I would say Aaron Judge would probably be. Is he number 3?
Nope, not number 3. So the top 1 is Shohei Ohtani. Number
Okay.
2 is going to be Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
You're kidding me.
No, so the top 2 selling jerseys in Major League Baseball right now is going to be Dodger players.
Okay.
Number 3 is Aaron Judge. You're correct on that one.
Okay.
Okay. Number 4 is Cal Raleigh, Seattle Mariners. Number 5, Mookie Betts. So 3 out of the top 5 are Dodger players. And if you go into the top 10, that adds Freddie Freeman in there too. But
Is there any Brave players in the top 10?
No, not in the top 10. But do you
It's
want to
rigged.
know?
This is a rigged system.
But do you want to know who's got more jersey sales than Bryce Harper, Juan Soto, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Francisco Lindor, Ronald Acuna Jr., Paul Skeens, Josh Naylor, and Christian Yelich?
I do.
Kike Hernandez.
Kike! I don't hate that at all.
So a nice little throw that out there.
That's
So it's a
actually,
little fun
that's
thing.
actually awesome.
Yeah. Number 12.
I want to know people that because I'm not a Dodgers fan, right? But are people that not Dodgers fans? Are you guys also fans of Kike Hernandez?
Oh, he's so awesome.
He's so funny, dude. Watch any of his interviews and then tell me how you can't love him.
Do you know what he said what he'd be doing right now if he wasn't playing baseball?
No.
He said, I'd probably be a stripper.
Yeah, that sounds like a Kike answer.
Yeah. Number 12. 12 most selling jersey in Major League Baseball. Kike Hernandez.
And he's not even like a full-time starter for that team. Is he?
No, he's not. He hasn't even started playing this year yet. But yeah, number 17 is Ronald Acuna Jr., which is the only Brave on the list.
Go Braves.
Pico Armstrong is number 10, by the way, Greg. So nice
That's
to see
actually
you.
really good.
Yeah, so it's really cool. I thought that was a fun little thing there. I want to throw there at the end of the episode there. A couple things here we want to talk about. First is the Dodgers are playing a different strategy than the rest of us. Early losses mean nothing to LA. Absolutely. As long as going into October, everybody's healthy,
But
probably
you
in
also
September.
want to win your division, though.
Do we?
Do you not? You got the Padres in there,
True. Now we do. But
right?
now it's going to be an issue. But honestly, that would actually just be terrible. Where you go into the playoffs, you win. This actually happened. You win the division, and then you immediately get knocked out in the first round by a wild card team. That's So it's what happened when the Dodgers and the Giants both made the playoffs. The Giants won the division. The Dodgers won the wild card. It's the only time the Dodgers have lost the division in 15 years straight. They've won the division every single year. And they immediately drove the Dodgers and then lost it in 5 games to the Dodgers. Yeah, so that happens. Anyway, last comment here we got from Greg Hawkins is the entire NL Central is playing lights out in
Dude,
baseball
that is
right now.
so true.
So, except for the Brewers, aren't they in last place right now too?
Brewers are 13-10.
No, I could have sworn they were. Who am I thinking of?
The Pirates are they're tied with the Pirates at 13-10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the Pirates are. You were just saying how Pirates are in the power rankings. The Reds are top of that division right now, 16-9.
Yeah, gosh. Cubs are 15-9.
Yeah.
Reds 16-9.
Cardinals, Brewers, Pirates.
My goodness.
That is a tough division right now. Holy cow.
Wow. Where'd that come from?
I know none of those teams are teams you'd think would have a record like that.
By the way, the Brewers are in last place in their division, so I was right. Thank you.
Are they?
Yeah, they're in the last place of their division. They're 13-10, 2 games back of the Reds, who are 16-9 in their division. So
see, that's weird because mine shows them tied with the Pirates at 13-10.
the Pirates are 14-10.
Oh, okay. Maybe this didn't.
I'm on the MLB app,
Okay,
so I don't know.
fair enough. All I know is Braves are 17-8.
We've seen it both ways, right?
Yeah, I've seen it both. Yeah, exactly. That's the one.
Yeah, 17-8. Yeah, I see that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Technically, the Dodgers are tied with the Padres for first place, 16-7. Diamondbacks, they are in the power rankings too. We just didn't talk about them because they're a little lower. They jumped up. They're 13-10. Yeah, wow.
What's crazy is that Mets and Phillies, dude. Both those teams at 8-16.
Yeah, but again, the Phillies just basically re-signed all their own talent. They went $300 million in debt to re-sign their own talent, which didn't, get them where they wanted to be last year.
Didn't put them in the position they wanted, yeah.
No, exactly. And then they also signed who they signed? No, their best pitcher signed with Ranger Suarez. Who do you end up going? Who do you end up going with? You have him going to New York? Oh, that'd be so sad. Do you have him going to the Mets? Where'd he end up at? No, Red Sox. He went to the Red Sox.
Red Sox. Yeah. Ranger Suarez is good
brain,
too.
Big brain. For baseball stuff. Anything else out of that, it's completely gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, so really interesting, man. I could talk baseball all day, and I'm pretty sure you can too, AJ. But I'm pretty sure the people watching us right now are tired of listening to us yammer on for, Oh wait, we got another comment here. Let's get to it. The Phillies signed a great group. They are 2 or 3 years past their window.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great.
And that's exactly the problem, though.
They overachieved last year. They
overachieved last year, and they signed a great group of guys that were good 2 to 3 years ago, and now they're all teetering on the edge of their window of greatness.
Yeah, like if you can't have Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber on the same team.
Exactly.
They need to be a Freddie Freeman.
Yeah.
The third or fourth best player on the team.
And then you're great, but you have to bring in some guys that need an opportunity to turn the corner and make their whole franchise a little bit better. And none of the guys that the Phillies re-signed are capable of that.
They went after Bo Bichette and missed, but I'm pretty sure they're pretty happy with it now. I mean, he's not really doing anything for the Mets. But,
yeah.
Ended up on the other teams on the bottom. Yeah. So, and I think it's really funny. The Mets are very much like the Yankees, which is funny because they're both in New York. But when Juan Soto went down, that team sucks. When Judge goes down, the Yankees can't buy a win either. Like it's just kind of funny how those two teams are led by their generational talent, and then,
it shows the Braves are scary though. We lost a couple of starting pitchers right at the beginning of the season.
Yes. And point of order there on a baseball thing we have to talk about. You only have one ace on your team.
Is it Chris Sale?
No, your ace is Spencer Strider.
How was Chris Sale not an ace?
You can only have one ace on your team, unless you're the Dodgers.
I choose Chris Sale.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll take Quadzilla on your team. Because with our aces not in the lineup. So you even said it, and Chris Sale is in your lineup. So you didn't say your aces in the lineup.
Oh, yeah. Damn it.
But you said your aces, and technically you're only allowed one ace on a team.
Oh, okay.
It's your game one opening day starter and your game one starter in the playoffs. That's your ace. And only really 5 teams have a real true ace. And I think that the Braves do have one, and because Spencer Strider I think qualifies. But anyway, so I thought it'd be fun. Anyway, we want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Who is the ace of your staff for the team that you like? We want to hear from you. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below.
And are they as good as Spencer Strider?
Exactly. If you're watching this on our live stream, again, folks, it is available as an audio podcast. If you missed part of the show, be sure to check it out on audio. It's available wherever you get your podcasts. I just said your line.
You did. It's fine. Yeah, I don't even know what to say now.
What's the other side of it?
Yeah, I don't even remember.
My line? Anyway, folks, again, thank you very much for watching this episode of the DNA Sports Recap. We're excited to have you here.
Or for listening. Thank you for listening to this episode of the DNA Sports Recap.
Our audio podcast has actually gone a lot of traction lately.
Keep on listening. Keep on listening. We appreciate it. Yeah, turn it on.
Slap us a review. Say some nice things in the review there, and subscribe to the podcast because we love to continue growing with the audio side as well. With all that said, my name is Darren, that is AJ, and this has been an episode of the DNA Sports Recap.
Till next time, my friends.